You ever been in a conversation where you feel like you're speaking perfect English, but the other person is hearing, I don't know, Klingon? Like you're laying it all out super clear and they're just not getting it. It's so frustrating, right? And it can definitely make you think, am I surrounded by idiots? Well, let's get into this, because what if there's a much, much better explanation?
Okay, so this is from a real guy named Studer. He was a super successful entrepreneur, a CEO who built a whole company from scratch. And when he said this, he wasn't joking around. He was dead serious. He genuinely believed every single person who worked for him was a complete and total idiot.
I mean, it got so bad that his own employees came up with a system just to avoid him. They put a little warning light at the front desk. If that light was red, it meant Stewart was in the building. And get this, people, even paying clients, would literally see the red light, turn around, and walk right back out the door. They'd rather come back another day than have to deal with him. That's how tense it was.
So you see, Stewart's problem was that he judged everyone by his own standards. If they didn't think like him or act like him, well, they were an idiot. But here's the big question, the one that changes everything. What if these massive communication gaps have nothing to do with intelligence? What if we're all just wired to speak different behavioral languages? So how do we start learning these languages? Well, there's a really powerful but simple framework that's based on the classic DISC model. It boils down all of human behavior into 4 basic colors. Seriously, think of it like a decoder ring for people. Once you learn this simple code, the way you see everyone around you is going to completely change. Now, before we go any further, this isn't about putting people in boxes. Not at all. A better way to think about it is like a toolbox. We all have different tools inside us for different situations. A sledgehammer is perfect for demolition, but you wouldn't use it to hang a picture frame, right? Every tool has its purpose. It's just about knowing when to use it. And the reality is, most of us aren't just one pure color. Actually, something like 80% of the population is a blend of 2 dominant colors. But, to understand any recipe, you've got to understand the basic ingredients first. So that's what we're going to do. Let's meet the 4 core types. As I go through these, I want you to start thinking about people in your own life. Your coworkers, your family, your friends. I guarantee you're going to start seeing some faces pop into your head. First up, we have the reds. These are your drivers, your alphas. They are fast-paced, super ambitious, and they absolutely love a good challenge. They're all about the bottom line, making snap decisions, and just getting stuff done. Their life motto is pretty much, why are we still talking about this? Let's go, now. Next up, the yellows. These are the influencers, the social butterflies. They are just bursting with optimism, creativity, and a ton of energy. They love to talk, to brainstorm, to get everyone excited. You know you're with a yellow when you hear, oh my gosh, I just had the best idea. They're the life of the party, always looking for the next fun thing. Then you've got the greens. They are the supporters. Greens are your rock. They're calm, they're patient, they're incredibly loyal. For them, it's all about relationships, stability, and making sure everyone feels comfortable. They are amazing listeners and the kind of person who quietly holds the whole team together. And finally, we have the blues. These are the analysts. Blues are logical, methodical, and all about the details. They need the facts, the data, the spreadsheets, all of it before they make a move. Their driving force is quality and getting it perfect. For a blue, it's not about doing it fast. It's about doing it the right way. Okay, so you've met the 4 colors. Seems simple enough, right? Red, yellow, green, blue. But here is where it gets really mind-blowing. The very thing that you see as your greatest strength can easily be seen by someone else as your biggest, most annoying weakness. Think about our reds. A red sees themselves as decisive, as a leader. But to a green who values harmony, or a blue who needs time to think, that same behavior feels controlling and impatient. That intense focus on results? To others, it can look like they just steamroll over everyone and don't listen at all. And what about the yellows? Their superpower is their boundless enthusiasm. But to a detailed-focused blue, all that energy can just look unfocused, superficial even. Their love of talking can make other people feel like they're not actually listening, just waiting for their turn to speak again. Greens, they pride themselves on being supportive and easygoing, but to a fast-moving red who just wants a decision, that agreeableness can feel wishy-washy and indecisive. And their amazing loyalty to how things are, well, that can look a lot like stubbornness when it's time for a change. And our blues, they see themselves as precise, logical, and correct.
But for an energetic yellow, that need for every single detail feels painfully slow and nitpicky. Their focus on facts over feelings can make them seem cold, distant, or like they're always finding fault in everything.
So if our biggest strengths are also the source of our biggest conflicts, what do? Are we just doomed to misunderstand each other? No. The answer isn't to try and change other people. The real power, the real magic trick, is learning how to adapt to your own style. And this right here, this is the most important thing to remember. You are never going to make a red less direct. You won't make a yellow stop talking, but you can understand what makes them tick. You can learn what they need to hear from you. If you want to communicate effectively, you have to learn to speak their language.
And you can do it with this really simple 3-step process. First, just watch and listen. Identify their color. Are they moving fast and talking about tasks, or are they moving slower and talking about people? Second, try to understand what they need from you in this moment. Do they need the bottom line, or do they need reassurance? And finally, the most important part, adapt. Just make a small tweak. Get to the point for a red. Let a yellow brainstorm. Give a blue all the details. It's that simple.
So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Think about that person in your life, the one you just can't seem to connect with, the one you maybe, just maybe, thought was kind of an idiot. Now that you know the 4-color code, what color do you think they are? And more importantly, the next time you talk to them, what are you going to do differently?